Yo, what's up, everyone? This is Nick here, back with another episode of Meet the Plebs, and today I have Apex from Twitter, and I am very excited for this conversation as Apex is interested in a lot of the stuff I'm interested in outside of Bitcoin. I think he's a really cool dude. I've talked to him on Clubhouse a few times, and I'm really excited to see him at the Bitcoin conference in Miami this summer. So, Apex, what's up, dude?
What's up, Nick? Shout out to the plebs. What's up, people?
It's a Monday. I'm feeling pretty good. The price is starting to slowly creep back up. It's at like 52,500, I think, or 52,300.
Yeah.
Dude, it is so hard not to be bullish today.
Fuck, when is it ever not? Yeah, man, the price action has been crazy these past 4 or 5 months. It's been dopamine hit after dopamine hit. And yeah, Dieter posted on Telegram on the pleb chat that he didn't think we were breaking 52 this week, but it's Monday, bro, and we broke it. So yeah, Dieter, take that.
I love Dieter. Shout out to Dieter. I hope he comes on here one time in the future. He's a dope dude.
He will, man. He's a good dude, bro, and he's super intelligent and he knows the game.
So, Apex, I'm interested. How did you find Bitcoin, and what's your rabbit hole story?
Sure, man. So this is all unfiltered, right? Rated R, rated PG. Tell me where to go, man.
Say whatever you want. I'm not going to censor you on anything.
Okay, so I was buying smack on the no, just kidding. Yeah, dude. So the first time I heard of Bitcoin, dude, I was living in Venezuela at the time. I'm from Venezuela. And I was just like, just this 30-something-year-old dude, bro, like just starting to, I got married, had my first kid, and figured, it's time to stop fucking around and maybe learn a little bit about finance and, take shit seriously for once in my life. And I figured that a good way to learn about finance was just to like get on Bloomberg on Bloomberg TV and see what they had to say, Mm-hmm. And that was the first time. So I just be at the office or at home and I just have Bloomberg TV out on the background. And it was like 2010 or 2011. And you know how they have like those topics that they're going to hit, like the talking heads, they're going to hit those topics and they put in like 5 different topics and they talk about it for like 1 minute and then they move on to the next topic. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? So One of those topics was Bitcoin, right? So I'm like, so when they hit it, they were like, I just remember, dude, like very vaguely, because this is already like, 10, 11 years ago, they were just like laughing it off or like, oh yeah, this is now a new currency. Let's see if it has any chance, against the dollar or whatever. And they were just kind of laughing. They brushed it off and then they just moved on to the next topic. But I found it to be very interesting. And that was the first time I heard of Bitcoin. And so that was really early, actually, right? Like 2010, 2011. And out of all places, it was on Bloomberg TV, like the last place you would expect to hear, about Bitcoin, especially so early. But eventually, Nick, I started, throughout the years until I finally, purchased my first Bitcoin in 2016. I kept on hearing about it from, certain friends or different like podcasts, financial related podcasts. But most of the time, it was like people arguing in pro of Bitcoin and people arguing against it. And just at that time, it was just like, yeah, this is fake internet money. And I kind of adhered more to that part of the argument. But then one beautiful day in December, I went to my pot dealer's house and, just to score a bag of weed or something. And he just started shilling me on Ethereum. So I was like, okay, we smoked some weed and he's like, oh, check this shit out. Ethereum and, your dishwasher is going to talk to your washing machine and your washing machine is going to buy shit on Amazon for you. And it's all going to be on the Ethereum blockchain. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And, he just, long story short, bro, I ended up just like downloading the Coinbase app and purchased, Ethereum was my gateway drug. And I started buying the other coins that were listed at the time, which were just only Litecoin and Bitcoin and Ethereum. But what happened eventually, brother, is that, once you start seeing the price, of these assets that I was holding, going up, it was 2016. So I was just like perfect timing, right, for the bull market, the raging bull market of 2017. And you just start wanting, you become more curious. So, you know, one of the best tools we have today is YouTube. And I just started going down that YouTube rabbit hole and started finding the right people. At the time, like, you know, I always give my shout outs and my respects to people like Adam Meister. You know, he definitely led me in the right direction. At the time, there was also World Crypto Network, which hosted, you know, people like Blake Edwards, Gabriel Devine, Thomas, who was the host of that channel or still is, and Jimmy Song and Tone Bays. And yeah, man, those guys, you know, just listening to them, I started grasping more what this meant and understanding that, you know, there was really no value in the other coins. And yeah, that's how I got into Bitcoin, dude.
Dude, that's awesome. When you were living in Venezuela, you didn't say what years that were, and you don't have to, but were you living there around the time when it was like really hyperinflating?
Yeah, man, for sure, dude. So I'm born and raised, I'm from Venezuela. So English is actually my second language. And, you know, I live here in Miami. So like, I'm like mostly used to speaking Spanglish. So yeah, but I was living in Venezuela at the time. It was 2010, 2011. And yeah, dude, the currency was going nuts, bro. Like, you know, at the time I used to smoke cigarettes, I remember. And one day you'd go to like the newsstand, like a local newsstand, which is kind of like just like a little kiosk in the street to buy a pack of cigarettes. And, you know, one day it's, you know, X amount of bolivares, you know, of money bought you like, you know, a pack of cigarettes. And then a week later, the same amount bought you like 10 cigarettes. So it was like, dude, you know, what's going on here? But, you know, it's been like that. Venezuela's always been like that. It's not a novel thing. Like hyperinflating currencies in Venezuela has been going on since I was a kid. You know, there was a time where $1 used to equal 4 bolivares. And then when I was, you know, that's me, like when I was like, you know, when I first had a concept of what money was, when I was 7, 8 years old or whatever. And then, you know, when I was 15, it was like, you know, it was 100 bolivares for $1, you know, in a short period of time. Right. So yeah, Venezuela's always had that problem, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing to me. Like I've been looking at Venezuela over the past few years, and like I even did like my first year of college, I did a speech at my school, and I did like a US dollar versus Bitcoin. My job was to persuade people to think in my way, and that was obviously that Bitcoin was a better store of value and money. And I used the inflation from Venezuela because at the time it was hyperinflating like freaking crazy. And I shout out to Nico. Nico's also from Venezuela, and I've talked about Venezuela so much with him as well. So I'm quite familiar with the situation. I just think that really shows how tragic and awful and life ruining that money printing can be, because your life savings is gone just in a snap of the finger.
Yeah, dude, it's Venezuela is a great case study for what could happen and what eventually I think will happen in all the other, like, I guess, you know, quote, you know, stronger currencies. It's just, fiat's destiny, man, is to be hyperinflated whenever you have central authorities, you know, creating policies for, you know, monetary policy. The shit's going to hit the fan, especially like, you know, in corrupt countries, third world countries where it's just blatant, right? Like, you know, these guys are, they have their trigger on the keyboards just to print as much money as they want. And yeah, man, the people feel it, dude. And that's why, like, it's, you know, there's the dollar's always been, you know, the Venezuelan, like, go to Bitcoin, you know, for before Bitcoin existed. It's like the people that made some money, you know, immediately just traded that Venezuelan currency for dollars, because they knew that, you know, within a week's time, a month's time, or even the next fucking day, like, they're, you know, that money wouldn't wouldn't hold the same amount of purchasing power.
Mm-hmm. Did a lot of the businesses there, did they accept US dollars as payment, or just
no?
Okay.
No, they didn't, man. Where everything was done in the, you know, I mean, now it's changed, right? Now they do. Now, from what I hear, I haven't been back, but I still have friends that live there, and they're just telling me, like, now everything's in US dollars. But at the time when I had my businesses over there, everything was done in the Venezuelan currency. But as soon as you got a chunk or you got paid for a deal or whatever it may be, you immediately go to the black market and trade that Venezuelan currency for dollars, and then have those dollars, and it was just usually a wire, right? Like somebody had dollars in some foreign account here in the US or something, and they just wire those dollars into your account, and you trade in your shit Venezuelan Bolivar.
Okay. So you mentioned that you purchased your first Bitcoin in 2016. So you kind of got to go through like I don't know if the bull run started in 2015 or 2016, but you probably were there for most of it. Is there any similarities or differences that you see in that bull run compared to the bull run we're currently going through?
Good question. So let me think about that. So this bull run's been like on steroids, I think, compared to that one. Because that one, there was more stagnation of price. Like it would stay linger around 1,000, 1,800, 2,000, 3,000 for longer periods of time. But this has just been like skyrocketing, right? And you can see it in the charts, right? On the daily or weekly candles and stuff. It's just, this is going straight to space. So yeah, obviously, as we know, there was, the institutional interest wasn't there at the time. It was, as it's been said many times, it was mostly retail driven. But, now there's just so much good fucking information and so many talented podcasters. Shout out to, like what you're doing here and to all the other podcasters. Like, yeah, man, that rabbit hole consumes you so much, dude. Like, but it's awesome because it has an ROI, right? So the more time you spend, but again, it takes following the right people and listening to the right people, because there is a lot of shit coining podcasts that have definitely fucked people up the ass. But fortunately, it's just, in this bull run, there's just so much good information and so many talented minds that have come out throughout the bear market. And just the sense of community through Bitcoin Twitter. I kind of mostly remember the bear market and just getting on Twitter, and it was just like me, Pirate, and Dieter, which the guys that I and Bart and those guys, and it was a time where it was just crickets, man. It was just like, okay, so these guys are still here, I'm still here. I guess we kind of get what's going on, and I guess we're the people that had more time to kind of continue going down the rabbit hole, because I could see how some people would probably that didn't do their homework and just were going at it from a speculative angle would be started getting weak hands and started, getting fearful once the shit hit the fan in December 2017, January 2018.
Mm-hmm. Dude, Bitcoin Twitter was so much smaller back in the bear market in 2018 when I got in. I mean, I got into Bitcoin Twitter maybe super late 2017, early 2018, I think. And dude, it's just amazing how small it was, and you can literally talk to anyone. You can DM anyone, they'll respond. You can at them, just on the timeline, they'll respond. But now it's, as Bitcoin has gotten so much more popularity and price has risen, I've noticed there's a lot of new faces around, and it's getting a little diluted, in my opinion.
It is, man, but it's all good, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's all good, man. I love the new people that are coming on, and the ones that are you see them one day, they have crypto in their profile, and then you kind of you're seeing them evolve, and now it's just all Bitcoin, and they're starting to get it, and they get the same way that when I came into Bitcoin and I had people I know Tone Base gets a lot of shit, but my respects to the guy, man. I think he has a good grokking of what Bitcoin is. And I learned a lot through him, through his appearances on the World Crypto Network at the time and his channel. And he brings on good guests, the same as Adam Meister. And now these guys that are coming in, they have, they still have those types of channels and podcasts. And they have, people like ourselves that are just, trying to make sure they don't get into shit coining, man, and messing that up, this opportunity up,
Mm-hmm. So it seems like you really, really enjoy the community. And I kind of hesitate when I say community, because I know a lot of people don't like the word community in Bitcoin because it just sounds weird because it's just money. But what other stuff do you like about Bitcoin? What's the single most dopest thing about Bitcoin in your opinion?
Shit, other than the community, because that, you're right, man. Like for me, that's what I gravitate to the most. I love like shit posting on Twitter. Because I just laugh every day. You just open up Twitter, like, just wake up, grab the phone, fucking take the eye boogers out of my eyes, have the glare of the phone, and just start seeing what, people are getting into fights over, and just the shit posting that goes on. And now all the memeing, which is hilarious, dude. Shout out to all the memers. It's fucking awesome. But other than the community, dude, it just Bitcoin, and even during the bear market, like it just, once you start grokking it, it does give you a sense of serenity, right? It's just there is a well-being, a peaceful well-being that comes with, buying your Bitcoin on the exchange, right? And then taking that shit out of the exchange and throwing it into wherever it is you store, you cold store your Bitcoin, and just knowing that that's there and that you control that, and that that it's, there's a cap supply of what will ever be. And it just, I have this hashtag that I sometimes put up on Twitter, which is like sleep sound with sound money. And we know Bitcoin is sound money. And it just gives me a sense of serenity, knowing that, my kids are going to be well off in the future. And yeah, I'm reaping the benefits right now. So it's, I just really like the sense of peace that comes with, knowing that I'm in sound money and not in a currency that's being debased, devalued, controlled by, individuals that have, just shit policy, basically.
Mm-hmm. Me and Optimus, we always say that that's Bitcoin Zen. Then we always post that one GIF of like the girl like with her legs crossed and her hands up, like meditating by the river. Like when you fully understand Bitcoin, it's so relaxing, because like literally nothing can bother you. Like no problems inside like the fiat world can bother you, and like it just, you have these light bulb moments after light bulb moments after light bulb moments, and like none of the shit that goes on in today's society like matters to me. Like everyone's freaking out, like all the normal people without Bitcoin, they're freaking out about like the royal family for some reason. Right. I have no idea why. I think her husband was like cucking or something again, and like and none of that shit matters. Like all the political stuff with the elections and stuff, like, I mean, just print me money. Just give me money so I can put it into Bitcoin. Like, I don't fucking care. And it's like one thing that I grokked really well these past few weeks is the idea of never selling Bitcoin. I would always think, well, I'm going to have to purchase something with it in the future, whether it be a car or a house or something, right? Because I need to live. And then people started introducing me to ways around it, like, taking out a collateralized loan against your Bitcoin. And that allows you to eventually, once you pay off the loan for like a super cheap amount in the future, after number goes up, you get whatever you bought. You get the Bitcoin back and you pay no taxes in it. And
right.
Like that just blew my mind. I was like, holy fucking shit. I can actually hold on to this Bitcoin for the rest of my life. And that's so important because I don't want to sell my assets for liabilities.
It is, man. That's an important thing to grok about Bitcoin, is that you really never have to sell it. And eventually, the infrastructure around this new monetary system, which is Bitcoin, will be so well built out that you won't have any qualms about putting your Bitcoin up for collateral. Like today, I wouldn't do that shit at all. I'd rather I'd do anything to get fiat just to pay my, whatever my living expenses are and my family's living expenses are. But I wouldn't sell any Bitcoin or put it up for collateral today. But I know that in 5-10 years time, if I need to, if I want to go fucking surfing in Fiji and I need, $3,000 to go do that trip. And yeah, I could just do something like that. It really comes down to understanding finance and understanding how to use leverage. And it's not rocket science. It's just really having a basic fundamental understanding of how you can, just leverage that asset. And I think there was a great interview with Saylor where he kind of said, he kind of described it in the way as like, man, like these rich people in New York that made their millions in real estate, they never sold their real estate assets in Manhattan. They just handed them down to their heirs, and their heirs, unless they fucked shit up, they still hold them today. And all these guys did was leverage those assets, right? Just take loans out against them, make sure that, they could make their interest. So, they don't get foreclosed and stuff. And it's going to be the same with Bitcoin. And it's going to be, like you said, probably in lower interest rates. So it'll be doable, man. And it's awesome, dude. Yeah. Bitcoin and shit. Imagine what Bitcoin's going to be worth when you're like in your 40s and your 50s, dude. Like it's going to be nuts.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I was listening to the Michael Saylor pod he did with Saifedean, and he was saying that as well. He was saying that like, oh, you think Warren Buffett sold his Coca-Cola stock? No, he never sold it. He just held on to it and took out loans against it to fund whatever lifestyle he wanted. And that's something that just, like it's so obvious to a lot of people, but for me, I just couldn't grok it for a while. But is there anything like that was just like a huge light bulb moment to you and you were like, holy fucking shit?
Shit, no, that one is definitely up there. Again, dude, it's really like that bottom line. It's that NGU tech, because what NGU tech really is purchasing power, right? Is that, whatever my net weighted average of, the price of Bitcoin that I got into it. And now today it's way higher than what it was, like it's just worth, $50,000 of Bitcoin now. It just, yeah, man, when you have that serenity that comes with holding, just gaining more purchasing power within time, that just kind of makes you sleep well at night, dude. So it really always goes down to that. And for me, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. So,
but the finance thing, a lot of people aren't really. Bitcoin is for everybody, right? There's artists that are in Bitcoin. There's people that are in finance that are into Bitcoin. So it's just so for the people that do have like a financial kind of background, it's kind of easier to understand these kind of metrics, right? Like loan to value, or people that are in the real estate game. A lot of people, play that game because it's always been a good way to create wealth in the past. But now we know that nothing, like it doesn't even get close to, Bitcoin's performance. So why even fuck with that, right? Just it's all Bitcoin, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, and still, I just wanted to say, hey man, shout out to Optimus, dude. I love that dude too. I know that you guys are tight, and shout out to Optimus. And yeah, he's a cool dude.
He's the man. I met him in person at BitBlock Boom last year, and he's a cool ass dude.
Yeah, man. I heard the stories. We won't get into that right now.
But yeah, so moving on to my next question is, has Bitcoin changed your life in any way?
Yeah, dude. I spend a lot more time glued to my phone. I spend a lot more time checking price. But yeah, man, it has changed my life, dude. Like, every time, like, just remedial stuff, like buying shit on Amazon. I'm like, shit, do I really need to buy this where I could stack sats? Like, do I really need this coffee pot? Do I really need shit, all these plastic stuff that we buy? And you're just like, dude, I don't need that stuff. I'll just leave it in the cart, but fuck, I'll just take this money that I would have spent on Amazon and I'll just put it into sats, right? I'll just, and that. So yeah, just the way it's that whole long-term preference, short-term preference, long-term preference stuff. It really does. You really start seeing the way you organize your life based on your finances. It's just such a bellwether, man. It's awesome, dude. And yeah, man, I just before I was buying weed and getting high and fucking around, and now it's just like, no, man, I wanna better myself, right? So I think Bitcoin has led me to a path of like self-improvement in my health, in the decisions I make, down to the food that I eat, to I still like to party, man. I like to have a good time. You know that about me, Nick. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And I enjoy a good, traveling and going to Mexico and drinking a bunch of mezcal and having some fun. But all in all, man, yeah, dude, I feel just so grateful, man, and just happy to be part of this revolution that we're all part of, man. And it's awesome when you can bounce off people like yourself and the other plebs and and I know that there's some influencers or educators that get a lot of shit, but everybody has a role to play in this space. And I just learned from everyone, man, even from a shitcoiner. And the best thing about shitcoiners is that you learn what not to do, right? So shout out to the shitcoiners too, I guess.
You kind of were touching on like you aren't over consuming anymore and buying a lot of needless stuff and then just throwing that money into sats. Two things I have to say on that. I remember one of the things when I first got into Bitcoin, one of the stories I heard was this dude wasn't buying Bitcoin, he was buying silver, but the idea was that he was unhealthy, he was fat, and he was big. And he said that every single day he would leave work, stop at the gas station and pick up a soda and like a candy bar. And he, instead of doing that, he stopped and used that money every single day and bought silver. And then over time, like, he was saving his wealth and he saved up a good amount over time. And I just thought, holy shit, like, I don't have those habits right now, but imagine if I did that and more from my job and just threw it all into Bitcoin, and I'd make a lot of money. And that's just one thing that got me into it more. And one of the things haters really like to say is that Bitcoin's bad for the economy because people will never spend their money. And I think it's just total bullshit because people are always going to have to spend their money on stuff they need to either survive or just have fun and, go out and live their life. And one of the things I think Bitcoin fixes is this needless consumption. I think we're way over consuming in a fiat economy today. Like, people are, these SJWs are crying that, oh, no one's going to spend their money on a Bitcoin standard. The economy is going to go to shit while they're not even doing that well, and they're over consuming on everything. Like, their thesis is just awful.
It is, dude. It is, man. And there's nothing wrong with living a minimalist lifestyle too, right? Like, we don't need all the shit we think we need. So Bitcoin is like the ultimate educator. And it is so humbling, right? To kind of like, put things off into the future. Every time you're going to purchase something, you're like, well, do I really need this now? Is this something that I need? Like, right, I need a hammer, right? If I need to fix shit around the house, I need a fork and knife if I want to be able to eat. So those are things that those basic needs that I have, and I'm happy to spend my money on, right? But do I really need an extra pair of sunglasses, for example? Because that's a fetish that I've always had. I like sunglasses for some fucking reason. And now I was like, do I really need those sunglasses? Nah, man. Like, I'm not going to spend $200 on sunglasses. Fuck that, dude. I'll put that shit into sats. So yeah, man. Look, all these people they're the haters. Like, the haters gonna hate, man. They're gonna find ways to kind of like convince themselves, and they're salty, right? Like, they've missed out on this beautiful opportunity, man, which is still, as we know, it's still early, but they're gonna find ways to confirm their biases, and they're gonna keep on shitting on Bitcoin until eventually it's just such a gravitational pull that it has. They'll be like, they'll throw in the white towel, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
So moving on to my second to last question is, what are you most looking forward to in the Bitcoin space?
So I am definitely looking forward to having that infrastructure kind of built out where institutions will, where you can feel safe where you're kind of depositing maybe, I guess, your Bitcoin to get a loan against. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to just the new people that are going to be coming, the new brilliant minds, and younger generations that are going to be coming into Bitcoin with their ideas on how to, on what the possibilities will be, right? Like in a Bitcoin standard. And, it's probably somebody that hasn't even been born yet. So I'm looking forward to, human evolution basically, right? Because this is going to evolve our species. And so that's definitely one of the things, another thing that I'm looking forward to. And I'm also looking forward to buying myself a kick-ass yacht and maybe a jet. I don't know. That could be fun.
that might be an unpopular opinion, but you deserve it. So
Yeah.
do what you
Yeah.
want with your Bitcoin. But
Well,
one,
that's the thing about Bitcoin. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, when, who cares what other people think, right? Like, you know?
mhm. Like I know some Bitcoiners who spent a little bit in 2017. They'll buy something nice for themselves or whatever, or live a nice life, and people give them shit for it. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, they've been hodling for who knows how long. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking a little bit off the top to fun, do whatever they want to do with their money. And at the end of the day, you get more sats from it because those sats are now back on the market for you to buy. So it's a
Right,
win-win
dude.
for everyone.
Right, like that dude that tweeted out a picture of this fucking sick ass crib that he bought, and he just posted, "Thank you, Bitcoin." Like, dude, that's awesome, man. And for if you're like a guy that has 100 Bitcoin and you just spend 1 Bitcoin like on a car, like, all the power to you, brother. You got yourself a $50,000 car, sweet, dude. Enjoy it. Like, I'm not here to pontificate and tell people what they have to do and what they shouldn't do. But, kind of when you have the knowledge, you want to spread the knowledge. Like, dude, man, I think selling your Bitcoin is not a good idea. Like, we'll just hold that fucking thing because it's going to be worth a lot more. But at the end of the day, everybody has different needs and nobody should be getting in anybody's way and telling them but at the end, like, opinions are like assholes. Every asshole has an opinion or whatever. I don't even know what the saying is, but yeah, man, whatever people want to do with their Bitcoin, I think it's fine, man. If not, just send it over to me, man. I'll take it. I love Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. So you touched on human evolution, and this is something I've thought about a lot and had conversations a lot with the Zoomers, and I just feel like humanity is just stuck in place, and we're just walking directly into a wall. Like, we can't move forward because we're constantly having our wealth taken from us. Like looking throughout history, no civilization has ever thrived and progressed well when the government has taxed them so fucking much. They can't save, like, a poor society does not move forward. Like a rich society with small government, that's what actually moves shit forward. When people have sound money to save their wealth and transport it into the future, that's what moves society forward. When people don't want to spend their money on needless stuff, so people who create products or services have to be the best of the best. Like, and they build shit that lasts for hundreds to thousands of years. Like, that's the type of stuff that pushes humanity forward. And we have not had that in a long time. And Bitcoin just gets us back on track. And it's like,
right. And yeah,
it's like violent. I don't want to say it's like violently, but it's like, I feel like it's like, this is going to sound weird, but I feel like it's like this act of Mother Nature. It's like, okay, humanity has been off course for too long. Like, this is something that no government can stop and no one individual can stop. Like, it's time to move on.
yeah, man. I totally agree with that, dude. And like I say, right, like, Bitcoin is the ultimate bellwether. I think that could be the right word. Again, Spanish is my first language, so every time I think in English, I have to like kind of translate words in my mind. But it's really the ultimate benchmark or bellwether as to whatever you can put into society, whatever service, whatever abilities you have. Like, Bitcoin is the ultimate equalizer. So when you have a sound money like that, we've learned this through reading, through Safe Dean's The Bitcoin Standard. These kind of great thinkers have a good, eloquent way of putting this so it's palpable and for people to learn from. And what eventually is going to happen is that I believe, yeah, man, we're going to have a more prosperous society, and people will be more fairly remunerated for the energy and services and intellectual capabilities they put out in the economy. So that's why I think I'm 100% with what you say. Like, this is an evolving tool. It's going to evolve humans. It's like, we're hearing it from other great thinkers in the space. It's like akin to, finding fire. And yeah, man, Bitcoin is fire, dude. And it's just, there's so much to look forward to. That's why it's so exciting. And that's why I spend so much time probably glued to my screen, is because I always want to hear what somebody else has to say about Bitcoin. There's so many, and I also want to just chuckle at stupid shit, like, a good shit post. It's awesome, man. I love everything about it, dude. And I can't wait to meet all the plebs out in Miami and in the future, the ones that will make it. I also bought my tickets for BitBlock Boom because I'm thinking that it's just time that I start, meeting people that that are more like me, right? Because even my normie friends who I always love and they will always be part of my life, and some of them are Bitcoiners and some of them aren't. But it's just cool to be on this wavelength with people and like-minded individuals. It's awesome.
Have you ever been to like a Bitcoin conference before or a gathering or something?
Dude, yeah, man. I have a good story. So, I went to, there was I guess it's still going to happen, but there was like the North American Bitcoin Conference. Have you heard of that?
I have.
That event? You have?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an event that was way before my time, right? But then obviously in with the whole, when I got into Bitcoin, so let's say 2017, the event happened right when the bear market started in 2018. And I'm like, oh, cool, man. Like, I didn't really even look into who the speakers were going to be and stuff. And I just ended up just buying my ticket because I was so into Bitcoin. I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. But bro, it was just a shit coin fest. Like, there were all these booths of all these tokens. And then, in the auditorium where the speakers were talking, it was just a different shill for a different coin. I was like, what? And, by then I had already grokked, like, all I care about is Bitcoin. And so when I was walking through the space where they had all these stands with all these shit coiners and all these different, blockchains that were going to change, humanity, this dude, like, man, this is chubby dude, bro, like in his Birkenstocks, in his like sweatpant, like shorts, a white t-shirt. He looked like he just got out of bed, man. and he just walks over to me for some reason. I don't know how he knew that I was like kind of a maxi, I guess, but he's like, dude, what's going on here? Like, I just came from Switzerland. I've been living in Switzerland. I'm just like an old time Bitcoiner, and I was expecting something different. What's going on with all these booths? I'm like, dude, man, I'm getting the fuck out of here. This is not my vibe. Like, I don't know why I even spent my money on this shit. But it was like this dude this kid, bro, that you see him like wearing flip flops, bro, shorts, and like he just got out of bed like with pizza crumbs on his fucking white pajama t-shirt. And the guy's like sitting on. I'm sure he's just an American dude living in Switzerland. I was like, dude, this guy's, he's a hardcore Bitcoiner, man. He's doing well for himself. And we're just like, let's get the fuck out of here, man. It's like, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back to tomorrow's event, like to tomorrow's schedule. Fuck this shit. It's the shitcoin shill fest. Fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only Bitcoin conference or I guess blockchain conference that I've been to. I was expecting it to be a Bitcoin conference, but it was anything but that.
Well, I'm sure at the Miami conference, when you're hanging out with the plebs, you'll get a much better experience. And BitBlock Boom. When I went to BitBlock Boom last year, it was like you just have these hour-long conversations with like all these, super smart people, plebs or, quote-unquote influencers in the space. And like everyone's so chill and laid back, and you just talk about like these super deep conversations. And it's fucking awesome, dude. It completely it changes your views on Bitcoin even more. Like you'll love them even more when you
dude. And I'm so hyped that it's happening in Miami, bro, because this is, I live here, and obviously Miami's becoming super bullish on Bitcoin, and and I have my real estate assets and stuff here, so I'm just like, yeah, man, bring it on. Everybody come to Miami, and I'm just stoked that it's going to be here, and I can't wait to meet people and just go out at night and take them to the spots that I kind of hang out at, and it'll be fun.
Let's go. So one last question. Speaking of being bullish, what is your price prediction for the end of this year and 2030?
Yeah. So yeah, price predictions, always a fun part of Bitcoin. So my price prediction, I've probably looking through my Twitter, and I've been saying this price for a long time, even before like the bull market started. And for some reason, that number 333,000 is the number that kind of sticks with me, like by the end of 2021. I'm sure somebody out there's going to be like, why so bearish? But I think that's just probably the number that it's going to be. I don't know why. But I'm thinking that will be the price prediction for 2021. And by 2030,
I'm saying, I'm going to go with American Hodl's meme of 6.15, but it's going to be $6,150,000 for one Bitcoin by 2030. Why so bearish?
I mean, I would be pretty happy with that. I know a lot of people would say that's bearish, but I would be pretty happy with that.
Oh yeah, well, I'll be happy, man, because look, the dollar is just at this point is just for us to kind of peg it to some sort, because we spend dollars and we pay for our needs and our rent and whatever in dollars. But so it's just the natural way for us to assess like the value of something. But eventually, and again, I think Dieter, shout out to Dieter. I like his way of thinking about sats and how we should start seeing things like, priced in sats. And eventually I think we're going to, by 2030, we'll definitely be pegging, value of goods and services to Satoshis. So yeah, so in today's purchasing power, $6,150,000 by 2030. Let's go.
Let's go. I love that. So we made it to the end of the interview. I really want to thank you for your time. Before we sign off, is there any shout outs or any words of wisdom you want to leave our audience?
Yeah, man, I want to do some shout outs, dude. I didn't prepare any, and there's so many cool people that, I just love shooting the shit on Twitter and other places. But you definitely shout out to you, to Optimist, Dieter, Grey Wolf, Count of Monte Christoph, these dudes that I've kind of been hanging out with on Twitter for a long time. Nabismo, Saint Bitcoin, dude. Big shout out to Saint. I love that dude. I respect that dude so much. He's like one of the best hustlers out there, like just making ends meet to stack sats. And that guy is fucking my shout out to Saint for sure. There's so many dudes I'm going to leave out. Oh, Surfer Jim. Fucking all the plebs, bro. Shout out to all those guys, man. I can't wait to meet some of you guys in Miami. We're going to have a blast.
I'm so excited. So, thank you again.
Yeah, man. I'm so excited.
Well, thank you again for coming on. If you made it to the end of this video or this end of this podcast, leave a like. Go follow Apex on Twitter. His link to his Twitter will be down in the description below. And I'll see you guys next week with a brand new guest. Peace.
Peace out, Nick.
Hold on to the pavements. Hate me, love me, for grateful recognition. Heard the landslide.